Good morning, Year 8. I hope you are really well. This is our final lesson on The Tempest, lesson 21. So let's get going with it, and we're finishing off the play today, which is brilliant. So the first thing I would like you to do for me, today's title is lesson 21, okay, and I would like you please just to start thinking about what is Prospero's relationship to each of the characters. So what is his relationship with Ferdinand, Antonio and Caliban? And also, how does he feel towards all of them? And if you're feeling super knowledgeable, can you find a quotation for each that shows how Prospero feels towards them? So if you can use your knowledge, think back to finding me an actual quotation. Okay, if you need to pause it, then obviously do so, but just write that down for our starting activity. Okay, so hopefully you worked out that Prospero is Antonio's brother, and Antonio usurped the title of Duke of Milan from Prospero, and he wants to seek revenge. Prospero wants to get revenge on him. And then Caliban is the monster that Prospero has usurped control from him, and Prospero despises Caliban and is frustrated that his efforts to nurture him have failed. He really thought he could change him. And then our last character, Ferdinand, Prospero has given Ferdinand permission to marry Miranda, so he feels that his soon son-in-law has proven genuine feelings for his precious daughter, and that's obviously really important too. We've been looking at 3 plots within The Tempest, and here are a summary of 2 of them. So the first one we've looked at is the love plot, and with that, Miranda and Ferdinand fell in love at first sight. Prospero wanted to test their love to make sure it was real. Ferdinand proved his love for Miranda, and Prospero will allow the wedding to take place. We've also been looking at plot 2, which has been the plot to kill Alonso. And in that one, we've had Antonio, Sebastian, King Alonso and Gonzalo were all washed ashore from the shipwreck. And after that, Antonio and Sebastian planned to kill Alonso, the King of Naples. Ariel stopped the murder attempt, and Antonio and Sebastian were unsuccessful. And remember, in that one, you looked and focusing on whether Antonio has a conscience or not. And it was decided, wasn't it, that he doesn't. And because he doesn't feel any guilt about trying to kill lots of different characters. So today we're going to concentrate on plot 3. And we're going to think about how the plot to kill Prospero ends, and obviously finishing up the play as well. And remember, in last week's sessions you were looking at characters Trinculo, Stefano and Caliban, and how they were all working together to try to kill. So Prospero has got wind of this trick though, or plot, and he uses Ariel, his other helper, and to prevent this from happening. So Ariel lures Caliban, Stefano and Trinculo into a horrible swamp. Prospero knows that they are there, and he's going to have a little bit of fun with them, because he wants to stop their attempt to kill him. Who wouldn't? So he knows that they're there, and he's going to have a bit of fun with them. Okay. So what I would like you to do is to, using the link that is in SharePoint, I want you to watch the video for this. And when you click on the video, you need to watch from 1 hour 23 to 1 hour 26. So just 3 short minutes. If you pause me and watch the video and then come back to this when you are ready. Okay? So having watched it, I would now like you to answer these questions here for me. So, does Stefano and Trinculo become interested in some bright clothes? True or false? Does Caliban tell Stefano and Trinculo to take the clothes? True or false? Number 3, Caliban is told to carry lots of clothes. Is that true or false? Is it true or false that Prospero sets magical dogs to scare and chase Caliban, Stefano and Trinculo away? And is Caliban killed by one of those dogs because Prospero wants to punish him? So just answer those true or false for me. And let's see. Number 1 is true. Number 2 is false because Caliban thinks that the clothes are useless. He tells Stefano and Trinculo to leave them alone. He is told, though, to carry lots of clothes. Prospero does set magical dogs on them to try and scare them away, but it's false because nobody is harmed from him doing so. So hopefully you got those all right and you're able to show your understanding of the plot line and what has obviously just happened. So the next thing I would like you to do involves using the last page of your resource booklet that we sent to you and you've been using throughout this lockdown. So it's the very back page, and at the moment I just want you to fill in, to do activity number 1, where you are filling in the missing events. So you can see there where the arrows are pointing to the lines that you need to work with. You're not filling in any extra information but just the gaps. So for example, event number 1, it says Caliban describes all the ways that, and you need to write in whoever torments him. Event number 2, Caliban meets, and then you're writing in the characters' names there. That's all you need to do. 3 of those events actually, event 3, 5 and 6, don't need any information. So it's just a couple of events that need adding to, and number 7 you need to do all by yourself. Okay, so pause me and complete that activity, and when you're ready, restart. Okay, so here are the answers from the questions that or the activity you've just done. So Caliban describes all the ways that Prospero torments him. Caliban meets Stefano and Trinculo. Number 3 was already done for you. Number 4, Caliban explains that Prospero can be killed while he is sleeping. Number 5 and 6 were done for you. And number 7 is something along the lines of the fact that Caliban, Stefano and Trinculo are chased away by Prospero's magical hounds. So as long as you've got something like that, you can give yourself a mark for that. So well done. I'm sure you got all of those right. And again, it's just solidifying your knowledge of the ending of the play. Well done. Okay, so now we're going to think about how the audience's attitude towards Caliban changes throughout the play. So you're going to go back to your worksheet on the last page of your booklet, and you're now going to fill in the gaps that are there. And so what I would like you to do for each event of our final plot, I'd like you just to write one sentence that explains how an audience feels towards Caliban. So a couple of examples have been done for you. The first one, that Caliban describes all the ways that Prospero torments him, is that an audience would feel sorry for Caliban because we realise that he is tormented by Prospero. And number 2, Caliban meets Stefano and Trinculo, and the audience might laugh at Caliban because he's terrified of these harmless creatures. Because if we remember, Stefano and Trinculo are kind of like the drunken, comical characters, and the fact that Caliban's scared of them makes us feel quite sorry for him. So go ahead, pause me again and fill out those. You've got space as well. If you can't fit it into your booklet, just draw an arrow and write next to it for me. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. So now we've got our information, we've kind of processed our information, broken it down as to how we feel about Caliban. What I would like you to do now for me is to write 3 sentences to answer the question, how does an audience feel towards Caliban at the end of the play, and why may we feel that? Do we feel sympathy for him? Do we dislike him? Do we like him? Do we admire him? So I want you to have a think about how you feel, because you are a member of the audience and it is about how you feel towards Caliban. And I'd like you just to explain to me why you feel that way. That is the important point there. Don't just say, I like him. Tell me why you like him. I feel sympathy for him. Why do you feel sympathy for him? Okay, so again, you probably need to pause me and continue when you're done. Okay? Fabulous. So you've written your sentences about Caliban, and your understanding of Caliban now is very, very thorough. So we're now going to move on to the end of the play and looking at Prospero. So at the end of the play, Prospero has Caliban, Stefano and Trinculo under his control, and these characters have tried to kill him. He's also got Antonio, Sebastian and King Alonso under his control. These characters have tried to kill him and done some wrong to him when he lived in Milan. So at this point, you can imagine Prospero might be feeling a little bit upset, and he's got every right to be angry with these characters. So we know as an audience that he's got magical powers, and we're going to wonder if he's going to use his power to punish all of them because they've all tried to kill him. However, Prospero decides he's not going to do this. He's going to forgive his the other characters, and we're going to read the passage where he decides to forgive those characters. Now you don't have a copy of this passage, it's just all on the screen, so we'll read through it together. So Prospero says, though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason gainst my fury do I take part. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. So what do you think that extract might mean? And your task is to try and put that extract into your own words. So let's have a look at some of the things that when we've got our translation there. So we know that high wrongs means serious crimes. So if we read that then in modern English, it says, though with their serious crimes, I am stuck to it says quick. And if we look, quick means most tender part. So I am struck to the most tender part. So I think that must mean I'm struck, it hurts my heart that with their serious crimes, I'm upset. My heart is struck. And then he goes on to say, yet with my nobler reason, against my fury, I do take part. So basically, I think he's saying there, but I'm noble, I'm higher than them. I'm going to kind of rise above those people and be much more noble in that. And against my fury, so I'm going to go against my anger. And he says, the rarer action, so the most uncommon action, is in virtue than in vengeance. So he's not going to take revenge. He's going to act in virtue, which basically again means to forgive people than get revenge on them. So having explained that to you, I'd like you now to try and write out what Prospero says into your own words. So again, pause me if you need to and press play when you are ready. So, as you can see from there, Prospero says he's been hurt by all of the characters. Despite this, he does not want to take the side of anger. Instead, he does the rarer thing and he decides to forgive everyone instead of punishing them. So if you've got something like that as well, that's absolutely brilliant, showing your understanding of what Prospero is saying and how he is behaving. So this leads us to the question, how has Prospero changed since the beginning of the play? Because at the beginning of the play, he is the one that caused the tempest to shipwreck all of those people coming in from Milan to kind of get revenge on them for the way in which he was treated. So now I'd like you to think about what you've learned about Prospero from the whole of lockdown and all these lessons that you've been doing. And I'd like you to answer the question, how has Prospero changed since the beginning of the play? And obviously the question implies that there is a change. Okay, so I'd like you to think about that and think about what he was like at the beginning and how he has changed now. So thinking about the fact that he is going to forgive those people who have done wrong to him. Was he like this at the beginning? So again, pause me while you write out your answer and then press play when you are ready. Now that's it. That is the end of the play. A huge well done Year 8 to doing this in lockdown, doing this all through videos. It's not a small job that we've asked you to do, and you've done absolutely brilliantly with this. I know all of your teachers are looking forward to seeing you in our English lessons later on this week. And we will obviously help make sure that you understand this play as much as you can do, and as much as you would have done if you had been in school with us. But we are really proud of you and the work that you've been doing this half term and this term. So big well done. Now the last thing that we would like you to do is on Show My Homework, your teachers would have set a quiz for you, and it looks a little bit different to the quiz that what we would normally set through Show My Homework. The link takes you to a form to fill in, and all you have to do is click on the answers that you think are the correct answers. This time there aren't any time limits to the questions, so please take your time and you can read them, reread them, go back to them if you're not sure. And you also only have to do this quiz once. Now, I don't think the quiz gives you a score. What we're using it for is for us to see your knowledge and your understanding so that we can fill in any gaps, and we can look at you as a class and see what gaps you as a class have to make sure that we, when we're back in school, we maximise our learning so that you benefit from it. So please go back and please go and do the 40 question quiz now, and help your teacher see what gaps you have got and what we need to do to help you make progress. But as I said, a huge well done, and we are so looking forward to seeing you later on this week in class. Well done. Take care.